RTD Live Talk, Detroit's number one late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Friday night live stream. And it's been a minute since I've done one, so I figure why not? Let's gather tonight and see what's going on, and let's talk our way through what's transpiring in front of our eyes. So, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the live stream as always. If we have any new viewers, feel free to let me know where you're watching from in the chat. We'll love to acknowledge your presence. And then also feel free to call in when the phone lines are open, 313-462-0027, because I want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to dive right in and acknowledge a couple people and then share my thoughts on the power of an ink pen. We're about to find out how many signatures will it take to further destroy the monetary system. So let me see here. We got Ricardo Givens says, did he get his software fixed? Yeah, software should be good. And long and behold, because I'm running a couple different systems here, I end up not even having my Ethernet plugged into this main one here. So that's why it was some glitches. So, but it is good to go now. Solo in the building. We got Gene, we got Jojo, we got Chirac, if I'm not saying that incorrectly, Philman, we got Jojo, Kenneth, Zippity, S400 in the building. Okay, so appreciate everybody for taking time to join. And then also, of course, there's more subject matters to cover than we can ever get to in one session, but I'm going to try to rant less and open up the mic so I can hear what else is on your guys' mind, and we can go from there. But hope everyone's doing well, as I mentioned. And so it's Friday. Let's talk. So 3 days into what appears to be a new administration, and outside of what we're being presented with from the mainstream narrative, once again, I've noticed a lot of commentators out there still talking about, the good guys, as well as, trusting the plan. And so those are two phrases that we've heard for quite some time now. I still haven't really seen much evidence, even though there's certain things that people want to use as a way of saying that, by next week, we'll have more information as to what's going on. So, more power to you if you want to sit around and wait for that, wait for something to occur. But in the meantime, what we're witnessing before our very eyes is the expansion of the current welfare state, transitioning this country from a welfare state into a welfare country entirely, by further expanding the monetary base, utilizing what is appeared to be on the surface a good cause. And of course, today, if you had a chance to watch a little 15, 60-minute spiel from old Joe there, he was talking about poverty and economic relief and, funds reaching those that are hurting most. And I'm thinking, like, in the numbers he threw out, which is what shocked me the most. And he was talking about all his stats when he was reading his teleprompter. He had a couple of times where he had some glitches, where he just couldn't process things. So, witnessing him have his little temporary breakdowns is, it's concerning, because we all was concerned with his health before now. But once you listen to Joe spill out those numbers that was given to him to read, he lumps in the rest of the country into those very small figures. And so, just top of my head, I got a couple articles here, but one thing that stood out here, he was talking about in passing the American relief package, which is his proposal for that, $2 trillion or whatever. It'll help 12 million people out of the poverty line, or out of poverty, or something like that. And I'm thinking, like, I thought if our country's 300 million plus, 12 million people, according to his statistics, of being below poverty or something like that. I'm thinking, like, the 2 trillion don't really justify 12 million. And then he mentioned another stat about the amount of children, not being able to get to daycare, 8 million. And so very small figures for the astronomical amount of currency that he's talking about bringing into existence through this American restructuring plan. And then, of course, he reiterated that it's just a down payment. And so he has two, as I mentioned before, American restructuring plan, American recovery plan program, and then the Build Back Better plan. And, if you thought 2 trillion was a lot for this current plan, mind you, we're 2-3 weeks off of a economic relief plan under President Trump, which was 900 billion plus the 1.4 to fund the government through October. And so it's like, okay, they just racking up these billions, and it's all been done by just a pen. Like, they're just signing their signatures after all these relief bills are created. And I'm thinking, like, wow, like, if it's that easy to create currency, we should be good to go. But the biggest problem is, as all this signatures are being signed and this stuff is rolled out, how disastrous it's going to be for everybody, But yet most people don't see it as that. And so a lot of people I see out in the Twitter sphere are talking about, hey, just bring it on, man. Bring it on. Give me that paper. It's coming. And I did a video the other day about how people now are becoming accustomed to expecting some form of a payout in the form of a stimulus relief. And so the creation of a welfare state, which of course is nothing new. We already have a good portion of the population dependent upon Uncle Sam. But based upon the current measures we're experiencing now, they're going to further expand that. And so I'm going to go through a couple articles here, stop ranting. And just some of the things that's incorporated in this current executive orders done today. And so I think total as of now, I kind of lost count officially. Feel free to let me know in the chat if you know exactly what number of executive orders we're on now. But day 3, and we already got that pen moving. And so imagine the need for him to call himself signing something. And once again, I might be, let me know what you're feeling, but I'm not really sold that this current administration is actually, legit just yet. So forgive me. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem like this is, the real deal just yet, because I don't think he's going to have much support. I think literally within Congress, they're going to try their best to try to cause some hiccups and wrinkles in his plans, which will further shake up confidence in the markets, perhaps. And unfortunately, no matter what comes out of DC, the markets in the form of stock markets will continue to go up. But we'll see how that plays out. But just an idea here. Executive orders targeting the federal minimum wage and food insecurity. So once again, as I mentioned, he's mentioning very small numbers in comparison to the entire population of this country here. And he's talking about the need of, attacking poverty. And I'm thinking to myself, we had a lot of issues when it comes to the word poverty in this country well before the current pandemic situation. Speaking about the homelessness just out on the West Coast and East Coast, I mean, that right there was a very good indicator of how bad things were in Main Street. But yet, once again, we got Biden here using the agenda of the current pandemic to push the need for further expansion of the government. So within this, he's talking about the need to call all government agencies to the table. He was saying something like, we need to get all the government agencies on board to act right or not right now, because it's such an emergency. And I'm thinking like, wow, how much more government would you need? But, we're going to find out here. But the expansion of the food programs, man, we got the SNAP program is going to be extended. We're going to have the moratoriums are going to be extended. We're going to have the minimum wage. They're going to try that, but not sure how that's going to work. Of course, we got the unemployment numbers up, still at historical rates. So yeah, the power of a pen, we're going to find out how much power really resides in an ink pen. And so here we got just more stuff here, just him really playing on the current pandemic as a way of further expanding the monetary base with the power of his so-called pen. But just once again, after witnessing what President Trump did with his pen and how ineffective it was, it didn't really do anything, because the pen, I'm not quite sure, somebody let me know if you've been paying, close attention to it. But, once those executive orders are signed, nothing is done immediately. Funds are not really dispersed out into the public's hands right away. It's more so just something that it seems like it sits there and it's a media show or something like that, because I'm not quite sure, once again, without Congress enacting and actually officially releasing something for the president to sign in the form of a relief bill, how effective these executive orders will be. But I want to share my 2 cents on this, because outside of that, I'm not sure if you guys, I'm assuming you have had to, but looks like one of the Republican senators, if I'm not mistaken, Marjorie something, is putting out some impeachment paperwork. I think it was the second day of Biden's so-called administration. So very interesting times. But the furthering of the welfare state, turning us ultimately to a welfare country, which is all in alignment with what they want to do. Because I was reading a Twitter earlier, and a tweet earlier from an economist, and basically saying that at the current rate of 0% interest rates, the only way they can continue to further expand the so-called recovery measures is to further utilize the 0% interest and ultimately take it negative. And so it's unfortunately baked into the cake. But anyway, enough of me rant, Ripples, are you willing to die? So yeah, so anyway, let me stop ranting a little bit, open up the phone lines. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys keeping an eye on? What are your thoughts about the power of the pen? Will we actually, see some of the executive orders take effect, or what? Is this just all hype for the public to make it appear as if this current administration is being more proactive and helping find relief in what's going on? And so we got Gabriella from the Bay City, Michigan. How you doing? Appreciate you for tuning in. And what else? And always feel free to highlight at Rethinking a Dollar, and we can answer some questions. So I see one from Solo says, "How is Biden going to sniff the children's hair wearing a mask? He must rock children since yeah." And so 100-day mask mandate. We'll see how effective that is. Even I'm seeing commentators talk about how he's not even enforcing his own policies. And it's just funny to see how, whenever he speaks, well before now, how it just looks like everything is scripted and prepared for him, to where it never really seems like he's all there. Remove that teleprompter from in front of his face, and he literally would lose his frame of thought. It says, "Still can't believe Biden is our president." Yeah, and that's one of the things that it still kind of feels different, because whether it was the prior administration or the current one, from a financial and a monetary standpoint, everything is still on course to go the way that it inevitably has to go. But it's just right now, there's still a good part of the people in the alternative media world that's still holding on to the belief that there's more to the story than what we're being told. And I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on that as well, because it was supposed to be some military action taking place on the 20th. Nothing transpired. And so just some of the things I'm hearing now is that as of July 4th of this past year, the military and FEMA took over the country. And now there's basically, the United States corporation is no longer official. We're now back under the Republic, and, all types of things like that, which, sounds good in theory. But I'm not, holding my breath. I just don't feel confident in any of those things as being alternatives for the current position we're in now. So, but I could be wrong. And if there's anybody out there listening that, that have some information they want to share, or to elaborate on that, to, just add some insights, or, hey, prove me wrong. I could be 100% wrong, but, trusting the plan and believing there's still good guys out there that's, operating on our behalf. Let me know. But LM says Trump and Biden, two different sides, same coin. Yeah. And that's where it's like, at this current standpoint, based upon what we've witnessed to this point, the pen is all they will be looking to use to further keep this economy afloat. That's the only thing they can do. So I don't see no Nasara, no Jassara, no, even, I saw people talking about, going back to the gold standard, as a result of this shakeup or whatnot. And once again, I don't see it, because as you're witnessing, from what I've gathered, all the major financial regulators, the OCC, SEC, FTC, and all those other people, Alex Massengill from Celsius Network just mentioned that they're looking to instill as the head of those entities, like, crypto-friendly individuals. So it looks like the blockchain digital asset space is a part of their plans. But anyway, how you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Pat from Alabama. How you doing,
Doing
Mike?
good, my friend. How you doing? What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I'm confused like the rest of the country.
Yeah, go ahead.
What can I say? But, just looking at this silly thing, I've never seen National Guard in my country at the Capitol building.
Right.
And can't figure out why. I mean, and these people feel so threatened by the American public. That's unusual. I mean, my God, we're supposed to be the ones that voted them in.
Right.
And we, majority and all that. Why are you afraid of us?
That would be a good question.
So,
why would you need so much protection from the all-time high in voter turnout, as well as those that voted for the highest voting turnout for the president? So, he should be good to go.
Yeah, and we're sitting back and we're seeing our speech being concurred. Like, I shouldn't say that certain things, and I'm not going to put your show in jeopardy.
Right, appreciate it.
This just it doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say? Me and Captain Morgan's going to have to sit here and think about this for a while.
You and the captain. Well, hey, Pete, man, I appreciate you, man, for calling in and sharing your thoughts, my friend.
Okay. You have fun, and you have been a light in the storm, my friend.
Appreciate you, my man. Be good.
Have fun. Bye.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And that's the thing. With all that so-called protection to keep the peace, I haven't heard any stories about any disruptions or anybody attempting to cause any issues with this past inauguration. And so that, of course, leads me to believe that there was more to the story, of course, than what we were told, because those National Guards there basically blocking in the Capitol area was not necessarily for their protection. As I mentioned, it was actually it was a cover up for what they was probably anticipating on happening that didn't happen. And that's why a part of me does believe that perhaps, the deep state / all those individuals, like I watched a clip of all the Suburbans where the Clintons got in one, the Obamas got in one, the Bidens got in one, and all. I'm thinking like, man, like that right there, that scenery there, to me, when I saw that, I was like, man, those are the front, those are the faces of corruption that has become the outward appearance of what is labeled as the deep state. Like, those are the primary puppets. Like all of those individuals, those 3 families, 6 human souls, in my opinion, are the ones that have further sold out their own country for some satanic, demonic agenda that is just beyond my ability to comprehend. Forgive me for not being able to really process that. But I'm thinking like, man, like those families to me have done so much damage for the American people, but a good portion of people who utilize the political sphere of like the left and right paradigm of I'm a Republican, I'm a liberal, I'm a Democrat, whatever those paradigms are, they've placed their allegiance to a party that has completely robbed and drained our country. And I'm thinking like, man, if there'd have been any good time to bring this country, bring some justice, it'd have been great to have witnessed those individuals be put in handcuffs, what I'm saying, right at that point, during the when they were leaving the so-called inauguration. So yeah, whatever. That's just my 2 cents, man. But anyway, give me a call. I want to talk to myself. Give me a call, 313-462-0027. I want to hear from you as well as whatever else is on your mind. Feel free to chime in. And I just want to start off tonight by talking about, the pen and the dangers of this pen, because all of the executive orders appear to make a difference, but they're going to try to literally alleviate poverty with the pen by creating the monetary stimulus needed to do what? Further debase the currency and to rob savers and to completely distort any type of financial reality for the rest of us. So, hello, caller. Which name are we calling from?
Mike, it's Barlight Broker from the internet.
Barlight Broker, how you doing, my man? Give me some quick thoughts. What are you thinking?
I'm doing excellent. I need you to Google Orco.
All right. What am I looking for?
You see a little cartoon character?
I see Shrek, or some type of Shrek-looking character.
Yeah. Well, that's not an O on his little purple cape.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Q.
Okay, give me some insights on that. So, is that
that's
like
Q?
I
just identified Q.
Okay, so
he was hiding right in plain sight. No one even seen him.
Okay. So you mean give me your thoughts on this, version of Q, whatever you're talking about.
He's a little imaginary figure with a little mask on his face.
So I mean, I didn't put it on the screen yet, but I'm looking at. Let me see. Let me show you. Is this? So I'm looking at this little cartoon figure with a red cape with a purple mask. You talk about that one?
You got it, brother.
Okay. If you say so, man.
I just wanted to everybody's been confused about who it is. I just wanted to identify him for everyone.
Hey, a good deal, man. So this particular character has done a great job at building up, I guess, a false hope and deceiving a good portion of the population, keeping them inactive while they trust the plan and believe the good guys were in control, huh?
That's right. But look, he wears a mask. He's got to be righteous.
Okay. Hey, if you say so. Oh, man.
Okay, Mike.
Appreciate you, my man.
All righty.
Be good. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Good one. That's a good one. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, let's talk. Give me a call. Let's talk. What else is out there that's going on? What else have we not touched on? Of course, I appreciate the community members that sent some information about the whole Bitcoin situation yesterday on the double spend. Once again, just more information to try to drive down the price. And so, as I mentioned before, the four entities that run the financial sector or oversee the financial sector as far as regulation's sake, to my knowledge, they're all installing crypto-friendly individuals. And so with that being the case, I believe that, of course, as I mentioned, Janet Yellen, it was very critical a couple of days ago about the cryptocurrency space and gave some comments that apparently was not in alignment with what those that are overseeing this restructuring wanted her to say. So she came out and kind of rescinded on those statements, saying that digital assets and cryptocurrencies are very friendly and it's going to be something that we can use for the future or something like that. So let me actually grab this and let me see, copy link here. So for those that have not joined the Discord page, usually what I do is I share articles throughout the day over there so you guys can see it. So feel free to join that one. But here's a little picture here. So U.S. government should consider the benefits of cryptocurrency and digital assets. So within a 48-hour period, Janet Yellen went from saying that need to regulate it, need to do all types of things to it, to now it could be considered a benefit. Oh, really? And does it have anything to do with the fact that just today Biden talked about, let me see if I can find that one. Let me see here. So Biden also hinted at the need to look for and to utilize technology to try to get out payments faster to people. And so once again, using it the fact that no stimulus checks haven't gotten to 8 million people within this, he's talking about the need to look for general ways to speed up the processes of getting funds out there. So once again, can there be some type of digital rollout for the United States pretty soon? We will see. So they, of course, with a pen, they're going to try to enact or change the charter of the Federal Reserve so they can incorporate digital assets. Hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from?
Andor Coble from Sparks, Nevada.
Andor.
And I just wanted to voice a couple of things to you I did today. One is I went to buy some more gold and silver to Coin Store, my local coin store.
Get your weight up.
And the commission on the silver is very high, like 7 or 8 times dollars.
Really? Okay.
For silver dollars. She had a hard time getting them. She got me 10 as I wanted, and I got gold. And I looked in the store; a lot of stuff has been cleaned out. So I just want to mention that a lot of people are buying hard assets.
Yeah.
So and that's the local coin store here in Nevada.
Okay.
Another thing too is I had the Republican Party called me up, asked for donations, and I told them, I said, well, I would, because I'm a former Republican, still kind of a Republican, but I said I just don't donate money, and I specified and told him that how much money he spent. There's some things he did that was good. I mentioned that, and I mentioned to him about all of the $9 trillion of deficit spending. That he's very similar. We're very similar to Democrats. So I just thought I'd voice that so people can hear, about it.
Right. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for keeping us up to date on what the metals is looking like in your neck of the woods. So I saw Andy Schegman mentioned a while ago in an interview about how he's seen premiums go up a little bit. So there's that's definitely drawing concerns, because with all the mainstream hype of the digital asset space behind the scenes in the form of the metal sector, there's a lot of concerns with that. So I imagine it's not as easy to source as much as you may have want. So we'll see, man. But I appreciate you for keeping us up on that.
Okay, no problem. You have a nice day. Great show.
Thank you. Be good.
Keep it up.
Yep, we'll do.
Bye.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Great stuff. So that's one thing, as always, for those that know the origins of the monetary system and where they're trying to avoid our attention from going back to, happens to be in the metal space. So as always, as it says up here, get your weight up. Take advantage of the opportunity to get something physical in your hand that, once again, is nobody's. It has no counterparty risk and it's nobody else's liability. So literally what you got in your hand or what you got in your possession belongs to you. Now, of course, the nominal price of that item will probably fluctuate, but we all know, based upon, the absolute certainty that all fiat currencies return to their intrinsic value, that item there which will definitely be of value to you in the short and long term, regardless of what the price is. So hang in there, people. Let me see. BTC is used globally. Do you think the Fed coin can compete? You will have to convince other countries to use it. Okay, so great question. So my personal opinion is that every country will initially try to roll out their own central bank digital currency. And I think by the time the Federal Reserve gets to the point where they're going to unleash theirs, the reserve status of the dollar, in my personal opinion, from the Main Street viewpoint, is already lost, because we're witnessing the push towards the digital space. So all those currencies, like when everybody gets some spare change or whatnot, it's good to say they're just not letting it sit in the bank and collect zero interest. They're probably going out and buying some crumbs of some of their favorite coins or projects in the digital space, or they're taking their crumbs and going to get an ounce or two or whatever they can afford in the metal sake. So for those that are awake and aware, the Federal Reserve note has already lost its reserve status, because once again, it's not a store value whatsoever. And we're going to witness that more as more signatures are signed in the executive orders and relief bills. But I don't think the Fed coin will be a reserve asset. I think by the time they try to roll out the Fed coin officially, the digital yuan, as well as the Russian ruble, the e-ruble, the e-euro, all those whatever, will be in full effect. And, ultimately the world will have to acknowledge and recognize the digital yuan as a way of doing business with the Belt and Road Initiative, which will be, by the time all this unwinds 4 or 5 years from now, the Belt and Road Initiative from Portugal all the way to probably Hong Kong will definitely be digital yuan strong. And you'll have to probably pay or interchange with businesses along that road in some form or fashion, either in metals or in the digital yuan. So the U.S. will basically lose the reserve status to where I don't think it will be something that people want to hold on to. And of course, the ultimate goal, as I've done videos before, is take all these digital versions or rebranded versions of their currencies and link them up together down the line. So they'll all make it to where they're going to use some type of interoperability type of coin project to link all those currencies together, creating a one world currency down the line. So that is the ultimate goal, no matter how you spin it, a one world currency. So who issues it, who knows, but the Federal Reserve Federal Reserve system will not be the primary issue of the reserve currency. And speaking of which, in Biden's spiel today, he was talking about right now, of course, interest rates at an all-time low. Is no better time to use the tools we have to, get this restructuring or get this recovery going. And he emphasized, we still have, we have tools to use. And I'm thinking like, what tool do we have? I'm like, oh, okay, we got the printing press. Oh, we got the Federal Reserve. Okay, so when Biden mentioned about using our tools, that let me know that officially, by them using a tool, the only tool we have is further monetary expansion. And so that's what they're going to use, which if you're an outside nation, you already know the game plan because they're doing the same thing. So no confidence whatsoever in centralized legal tender instruments. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is United States of Israel expat, still in the great state of Wisconsin for a while.
How you doing? What's on your mind tonight, man?
Well, I was following up, doing a little research on the Mexican silver monetization issue.
Okay.
And I wrote this author an email. He's from Mexico to get his kind of an update, because it's really hard to find information on this. Mm-hmm. It went to the Mexican Congress last spring, but then I haven't been able to find any information. Mm-hmm. So this is what I wrote to him. I said, my name is blank blank, and I live in the USA. Mm-hmm. I invest heavily in gold and silver. Mm-hmm. I am wondering if you can provide me with any updates or updated information regarding the proposal to monetize silver in Mexico. Mm-hmm. I've been unable to locate any information on this subject, and here's what he wrote back.
Okay.
He said, unfortunately, this issue is not taken seriously by the Mexican Congress. Mm-hmm. It is often discussed, but it never gets the final approval because of the opposition of the Bank of Mexico, central bank. That's what he wrote.
Right.
I suppose that's why you don't find any information in the media. Mm-hmm. So, does Israel control the central bank of Mexico like they do the Federal Reserve? Mm-hmm. And the central bank of Europe and Italy, and I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, so under the IMF window and the BIS and all those entities created around the Bretton Woods time frame, which officially structured all the central banks that are known. So I think out of 190 countries that's a part of the IMF, they all have representation within those centrally controlled entities that are not, which are not a part of the governments there. So every central bank in every country, to my knowledge, is a part of that global world order linked back to the Bank of International Settlements and IMF and the World Bank and all those entities. They all work together. So I'm more than convinced, yes. I think supposedly maybe Russia as well, Iran and Venezuela and all those banks may not be. That's why, they're not really, cooperating with the globalist agenda. But I think central banks, we all know what they do best, which is to basically lend currency back to the governments and have it paid back with interest, draining true wealth from the people's hands. So I would assume so, yes.
Okay, well, the IMF, wasn't Christine Lagarde running that? She's with the Central Bank of Europe now, I believe.
Yes, they just rolled her right over without any consent or any concern from the people of Europe. She just went from the IMF to the ECB chairwoman. And so, yeah, with no problem. It was just like a no-brainer that those unelected officials put her in charge of the euro.
Isn't she a convicted felon and her predecessor is a convicted rapist? These people can get a job at Taco Bell, but they're running the world's finances? Well, is this correct? It seems crazy.
Yeah, I want to say she's definitely, she's from France, and I want to say there's, she's a criminal or there's some charges or some things that she never really had to, deal with in France. So, but once again, those individuals, they act and they're treated like they're above the law. So the law doesn't apply to them. So don't expect Lagarde to get arrested, or don't expect any type of justice at that level, because once again, they're the overseers of the criminal charade of this whole monetary system. So we can find out all the facts about how dirty they are and what they've done, how corrupt they are, but and until the Lord comes back, I don't see no justice being done to any of those individuals, unfortunately. So yeah, it's more so about how can we protect ourselves from them in the meantime.
So wait a second, Mike. You're saying the scales of justice are far from balanced? I can't believe this.
Yeah, that's just how it goes, man. So, yeah, but of course we're not surprised. So, but hey, man, I appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thanks for giving us that update.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care. Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh man, good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, she was okay. Tony B says she was convicted. Okay, she is convicted, but I don't think that she's concerned about having to serve anything. So basically, it's like saying she wasn't. So yeah, but that's how the cookie crumbles, man. But anyway, so we will find out what's going on further. As I mentioned earlier, I want to check in and find out what the pulse is on the streets out here as far as what you guys are seeing. And this little pen here, these types of pens here, they're going to be signing these things and making all types of recommendations on how to end poverty. But once again, you can't end poverty with destroying the currencies. It only makes it more expensive for those that have worked hard and saved and done all the things they were supposed to do. But once again, I realized after the great financial crisis that, sticking to the conventional wisdom of, saving and buying a dip and doing all the things you're told to do responsibly will only come back to bite you in the butt when all the signature stuff is signed. So yeah, decoupling and diversifying out of the system as best as you can and in as many forms as you can is your only chance of being able to sustain and preserve what you've worked hard for. And then, keep it moving forward, man, and enjoy life as best you can. So tonight, Friday, hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll definitely check back in and go from there. But other than that, I think starting next week, I'm going to try to roll out probably some midday videos in the form of a rant where we'll just check in via news and I'll do a little rant and give you guys a chance to rant as well. So have some fun with it. But anyway, hope everyone is doing well, and let's stay connected. I want to encourage you guys, if you have not, as I always mention, I know a good amount of you guys are already connected with us, but go click the link here for the social media sphere. Go to the Discord link and join the Discord page and share articles and just talk with the community. And then everything else, social media wise, where you can find RTD if need be. And then, of course, I'm going to make sure you guys, what I try to do is to make sure the main page, the website, which is where you can find me ultimately, is always up to date. So I try to put articles throughout the day here. So make sure you guys go check it out. And so we should be good to go. But anyway, be blessed, be safe. I will see you guys later. And have fun with it. Anyway, if you enjoyed it back and forth, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace. Hey there, sorry for this interruption, but I wanted to bring something to your attention. If you've been enjoying this live stream, why don't you partner with me and be a support to the channel via Patreon membership for just a minimum of $5 a month. All you have to do is scroll down beneath this video here, click the Patreon link, then consider donating as little as $5 a month towards the channel. A little bit of crumbs can go a long way, and I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to this live stream.